we can remind. So we're recording now. Sorry for anyone who just missed the beginning. But so basically, I'm talking about how you need to treat this business as a business and not a hobby. We signed on for this business for free, but I'm hoping that people understand that if we treat it like a $100,000 investment, it's going to reward us much better. And so it doesn't take 6 hours a day. I will be going back to work. And yeah, over the last couple of months, I've had time to invest a lot more time into this because I haven't been working full time. But I get it. I work full time because I like having that consistency, and I like having the Beachbody income. But I know that some people don't want to rely on it. You can do you can build this business in, as little as a half hour a day, if I'm being realistic. It takes doing the 3 vital behaviors. How many of you can honestly say that you are doing the 3 vital behaviors every single day? You're inviting people, you're doing your proof that the product works, and that you're engaging in personal development. And I'm going to be honest, there are days when I don't dive into personal development. And I know that's, when things aren't going the way I want it to go, that's what I need to do. So that's what I'm going to make happen. Another thing that I see happening lately in Aspire Nation, which just kills me, is that people are letting their own failures dictate their today and their tomorrow. Okay, so maybe you fell off a program. Maybe you had a terrible weekend, you fell off for a week or maybe even more. But that doesn't mean that today you can't pick back up, press play, and start, right? I have been stressed to the max being down here without my furniture and things. And I started the Ultimate Reset. And I'm going to be honest, I completely plummeted this week with that program. But I was real about it. And I posted on my page about how I'm like doing terribly on this. And it's because I wasn't 100% committed. It can be an excuse, but the things were not aligning down here for me. And I knew that I wasn't going to be a fraud and phony and say, I've done this whole program perfectly when I'm here, I don't even have a freaking frying pan in there to do it with. So what I'm getting at here is you can fail at a program. Failing is normal. You can fall off, you can cheat for a weekend on the 21-day fix, but don't go out there and pretend like it's going all swimmingly. You're human, right? People like to relate to these things. And the other thing is, when you do fall off a program and you are finding it absolutely impossible to dive back in, modify it, ease into these things. Maybe you can't bring yourself to work out every single day. Take it one day at a time. Add it to your calendar for twice a week, 3 times a week, so that you can kind of get back in the groove and find yourself feeling good about, what you're doing. Because I know a lot of people are having trouble with, I don't want to lead people when I can't even lead myself. Set a plan in motion. Your business is dependent on you, feeling good, making it work, and doing it. And if you're not driven by the business, do it because you don't want to go back to the way you felt before you started, right? We all have these stories of how I felt before I did this, and maybe it was a weight loss, or maybe it was just energy from Shakeology. Do it because you don't want to go back there. Do it for you. Do it for, whether it's your health and fitness or whether you're driven by business. Everyone's driven by different things. Let me just see where sometimes I go off on a tangent. Let's see. So, Aspire Nation, in my vision of Aspire Nation was to start seeing people stepping up as leaders, right? So this is your business. And when I started really diving in, I had to start looking up things on YouTube, Coach Training Academy, following other people in their journeys, because my upline wasn't always there. When I started, she wasn't there. She had a honeymoon and a wedding and lots of things going on. But I found a success partner, and we were making it happen. We wanted this so bad because we've seen amazing things. I'm driven because one, it's freaking awesome to see everyone in challenge groups having success. Like I will continue to do this even if I was making nothing, right? You guys read my post the other day. I don't need this income, but it's great. And financial freedom is like one of my big goals. But I would continue to do this even if I wasn't making anything because it's holding me accountable to working out. You guys need to get in a place where you feel the same way, right? So you're doing these programs and you love how you feel and you want to share that with people. And when you do start to share it and things start to kind of fall into place, you're benefiting from the financial gain you're getting, right? We're all coaches because I'm not going to lie and say, it's not a nice bonus to have here. I've got tons of student debt. Like if I can keep making money while helping people, that's huge for me. Set up your why so why are you doing this? Figure out why you're doing this and let your uplines know. I'm talking really fast because I have a lot to say, but I talk a lot about setting up goals and putting dates to that. Lately, it seems like people are writing down these goals, but they don't really want them. Make sure that your goals are reflecting what you really want, not what you think you should write down. That's going to be so important in your drive to hit those goals. If you write down diamond, but you don't really want diamond, what are you going to do to hit it? Nothing, right? It's just words on paper. It means nothing. So it's so important for you guys to realize that like you can do this. Set your goals down and visualize it and keep going. Make it happen. Even if you fall off the wagon in health and fitness, get back on and stay consistent. And that's a huge point I wanted to talk about today, too, is consistency. So a lot of people have been stressing out about like how to recruit people. And here's where consistency pays off. People are waiting for you to fail in this business as Beachbody coaches, right? All those haters and naysayers on Facebook are waiting for you to fail in this business and kind of quit and give up. And they're going to like say, yep, that was, flash in the pan. I knew that was going to happen. It sucks, but they're all out there, right, watching you. Prove them wrong. That was huge for me. I was a Leah Sophia representative before I did this, and when I changed over, one of my big fears was that people were going to be like, oh, here's her next gig, like she's just selling, Beachbody fitness now instead of jewelry. One of my big drives was to prove to people that this was actually worth it for me. And that these things are actually helping me. And I'm not asking people to spend $100 on a necklace, right? I'm asking people to spend money on their own health and fitness because they're worth it and I know it works. So consistency is huge for this. You want to follow someone like Melanie Mitro. And if you listened to the wake up call the other day, you might have heard her talking about her posts. This chick, if you don't follow her yet, I'm sure you all do. She's going to be the top coach this year, but she has a workout post every morning. And you can kind of be like, oh, it's the same post every morning. But when you see it, you start to be like, wow, she really is working out every single morning. Okay. And then maybe in the afternoon, she'll have a blog post or something motivational. She sticks to her posts so consistently that people kind of know what to expect and are inspired by her. So maybe think about how you can make your Facebook page consistent in what you're posting. You don't always have to recruit. You don't always have to post about a challenge group. Post about your workout maybe in the morning. Try it for a week. Your workout, a motivational post, and then something in your life that's going to help build your brand, right? Something like, like Dana, maybe she's going to be posting about Declan because that's part of her brand. Like she's a mom, she's busy with him. And we get that. Heather is building, like you're redoing your house. So that's a huge part of your brand. Like you're busy, but you're making these things happen, right? You've got all these things going on. So think about building your brand, and it comes in with consistency. Does that make sense to you guys that your brand, like consistency and your brand are going to be one and like tied together? Whatever you're posting about daily is building your brand. And it might change. Okay, so let's see. So one of the concerns that people are having, it seems like, is how to recruit coaches. This isn't, how do I say it? It doesn't happen right away, okay? It takes a while to recruit active coaches. So we're all signing people up. There are two different ways. You can sign people up as customers and then encourage them to be coaches. What I've always done is sign people up as coaches right off the bat. Plug them into a challenge group because they're, maybe you can get them in the 21-day fix. You sign them up as coaches, you get them the 21-day fix. After 21 days, they've completed a program. They can start sharing it with people. Your job is to engage 100% in your challenge groups, right? And there are lots of YouTube videos, and Melanie Mitro has one, but on how to really work challenge groups. So I won't go into that tonight because we don't have that much time. But engage in those challenge groups. You've got people who bought this program from you, don't really know anything about it yet, but after a week or two might believe in Shakeology and believe in the 21-day fix. And Heather's right, they're getting a Shako discount every month right off the bat. And you don't have to worry about, upgrading them to a coach later. My point is, when you recruit coaches, they may not be involved in the business at all. You want to find out from them in your welcome email, are you in it just for the discount? Do you want to hear more about the opportunity? Or maybe they're ready to run, okay? If they're in it just for the discount, that's when you want to check in occasionally, check in after the challenge groups, check in with them and see how things are going, if they like it, if they know anybody. You can start to ask them well, do you know anyone that might benefit from Shakeology? That's when they might say yeah. I also talk to them a little bit sometimes about, if you get someone to join Shakeology, we can get your shake paid for. And I always tell them you can make $32 for each Shakeology shipment that goes out, or $40, $50, $60 for challenge packs. And people are always like, really? You can make it that fast? I'm like, yeah, it's not just chump change. When you're selling challenge packs, you're getting some good money for it. And people don't always know that. And when they hear it, they're like, oh, maybe I do know one or two people that would benefit from Shakeology. So always talk about getting their things paid for, right? Then in your challenge groups, how to recruit active coaches for your team. Look for those people who are posting motivational posts, supporting everyone's posts, engaging every day. I did a point system for my free challenge group right now, and it's freaking awesome. People are posting motivation, sharing recipes. They get 10 points for sharing a picture of a recipe and sharing what recipe, how to make that recipe. They get 15 points for motivational videos. And Courtney is on this call. I think she's still on. Yep. And she, after one day, I was like, why are you not coaching? You're amazing. And she was like, oh, all right, let's do it. That does not always happen. That's something that doesn't always happen. But she's been drinking Shakeology religiously before that, just hadn't really heard about the coaching opportunity enough to kind of spike her interest. So look for those people in challenge groups. Make sure that you're engaged enough for them to want to participate in your group. Give them something for them to, for it to be fun, whether it's prizes, that you don't have to spend all your money on prizes, just whatever people win at the end of the week. Maybe you're sending. Did someone just say something?
I was going to unmute.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you what I've been doing my past couple ones, and it's been working really well. I've been doing a big prize at the end of it, and I've changed it every time. One time it was a 3-day refresh, and this past time it was extra 21-day fix containers. And this time it's going to be leggings from one of the legging companies that I like for workout leggings. And every time somebody posts something to the group, whether it's a recipe or a Shakeology picture or, a sweaty workout picture, I put their name in a jar, and then at the end I pick a name out.
That's perfect.
Seems to help.
That's really good too, because that's one prize and Dana's not going bankrupt about each week doing something big. So it's really up to you how you want to run your challenge group, which is awesome. The other thing, if you have if you're swimming in Shakeology in your account, the 3-day refresh counts as your your HD or whatever. If you are getting like overwhelmed, maybe you have 2 accounts, maybe you're, running your spouses or something, use those things as business builders, right? Like Dana said, she gives away a 3-day refresh to a winner, because pretty soon we have all these things coming in, right? Sometimes I'm swimming in Shakeology. Sometimes I have, I used to have protein powder that I didn't know what to do with. So there's that. But I'm digressing a little bit. But challenge groups are the place to find coaches. The other thing is, you can recruit and you can talk to people right off the bat about if they're interested in coaching, and sometimes they want to know more about it. But what I'm learning is that you want to find people like you, right? People that you can relate to, people that want to be on your team. And if they're reaching out to you, they're seeing that you're relating to you a little, that they're relating to you in your posts. So there's a connection there, but don't just take anyone on the team that you feel like, if you don't connect with them, like, this is your business. This is your brand. Your team is like what you want to see happen with your business. So, recruit with an open mind, but be careful that you're not just reaching out to people who, you can't relate to at all, because they might be better with another coach. All right, let me see here. What have I've skipped around on all my notes that I wanted to. Okay, so I would be lying if I said that, that there are times where I don't want to like just throw my hands up and be like, I'm done with this. Like, you're going to crash and burn in this business a lot, right? And at first, the hardest part is like building a team, and you're getting stressed about all these goals. Take it one step at a time. The only thing that I can say to you, like, that I know, like, we can all be top coaches, right? The people who are top coaches now, they all have different stories, but they're all normal people, right? They're not like celebrities who had this huge network of people that they just like, what is it, like Missy Elliott now has those results if you've seen it on Facebook. But nobody started out with like this huge network of people that they just sold all these challenge packs to and, skyrocketed in their business. We can all get there, but the thing is that's going to define you as a coach is how you overcome failure. And I talked a little bit about like failing in your programs, but even when you feel like you're failing as a coach, dive into personal development, right? You have people that sign up for Shakeology, and since we're signing everyone up as a coach, you're going to have people that quit. It's going to happen. I am constantly filling in people and losing people, and yeah, I'm trying to get them, to have a conversation with me about like why they're quitting, but it happens. Like, don't get discouraged. It's okay to get discouraged about it, but don't like give up. Don't give up. And my idea of giving up is not like just canceling your account. I hate when people are like, I just can't do it right now, because you can do it, and I know it's worth it, and I know that it takes time. So the longer you take to kind of like regroup and focus, the longer it's going to take you to succeed in the business. So for me, it's like, you just got to keep going. And I talk a lot about momentum and like, don't quit, just keep going. Even if it's 10 minutes a day, just do something to help build your Beachbody business. Okay, the last thing I just wanted to talk about is in Aspire Nation, it's my page, but it's not like I'm like the dictator. Like, I want all of you to be engaged in there. And if you find something that helped you learn, share it in the page. Each one of you is running your independent business. So whatever you can do to help your team, Aspire Nation is like the platform where you can add things in there to help your team members, or share it with, any new coaches who are coming in. Because there's constantly new coaches coming in. So don't be afraid to like repeat things that helped you, or if you see someone's post that you really liked, or, a top coach and you want to share it, do it. Like, more leadership in Aspire Nation is what it's going to take for you guys to reach your goals. As Diamond, I'm sure if you're on these calls, usually you like want to grow your business. But your business is only going to grow when you start to take on leadership roles. right? And it was so hard for me to think about that when I was like, last December, when I'm like, oh, I don't want to do any of that. Like, I'm only doing this part time. Well, then I got like a kick in the butt and it was like, my business isn't going to go anywhere if I don't like take hold of it. I'm going to be honest with you. I never, ever, ever thought that I would launch my own team page. I was like, I'm just going to ride the coattails of everyone and just like do my own, like send people in and whatever. I never like saw myself growing in this business when I started, but when you change your mindset into like it's worth it, things change. There's a total shift in your business. I highly recommend, if you guys are looking to grow your teams, that you dive into a leadership personal development book. And there's a bunch out there. But I sort of wish that I had done that sooner than later, because as soon as you open your business, you're a leader, right? You are growing a team of coaches. They're going to look up to you. Your coaches aren't looking to me for like all my answers. You're the one that signed them up. You get them involved. You're the one they relate to. So be sure that you are kind of taking the initiative and taking on that leadership role, no matter where it is, whether it's in messages or on your own page or in Aspire Nation. Like, I look forward to the day that people are like taking on more leadership in Aspire Nation until you grow your own page. So don't be afraid to do that. You're not stepping on any toes. That was a lot. A little bit about branding. I talked a little bit about like how to find coaches. We have a few minutes left. So anything I said that you have questions about, or anything just in general, doesn't have to relate anything to what we're talking about. Or Dana, I know that we talked a little bit. If you have anything to share, like about your post today, Dana, was awesome.
I can vouch to a lot of what you say, because when I started, I really had no vision. I was just kind of like, well, this is a cool opportunity. I can make some money. My back was kind of against the wall, and, figured, hey, it can't hurt, and then you start to realize the potential of it. And then you have days that absolutely suck and you feel like you're drowning and you want to give up, and you're like, I don't really need to be doing this. And what I talked about in the post was, there has to be, if you don't have a success partner that you can reach out to and pull you back up, you need to start to either do that for yourself, or you need to reach out to your upline to help you do so. For me, I have 4 success partners. I talk to them every single day. It's not always about Beachbody stuff, but it's people that know what's going on in my life, to know that when I need support or I need to, be, I guess, held accountable to things I am or I'm not doing, that I know that they're there, and vice versa. There is no other opportunity like this. I mean, if you can look at this and think that there is not something so much more sitting in front of you right now, then you really need to think about why you're coaching in the first place. When I have days where I kind of question things, I have to sit back and think. I look at my wall and I look at all the people that believe in me enough to have, signed up to do this, or the coaches that have trusted me enough to lead them on this journey. And I'm learning how to be a leader as well. It's not easy. Especially if, there's goals that aren't really, like you said, they might be on paper, but until you can actually put a plan of action into how to achieve them, they don't really mean that much. And Annalisa knows, when I decided I was, once she told me what Diamond was and how I could get there, I was just kind of like, well, let's hit balls to the wall. Like, I don't really care what I had to do. And it was like a game with myself. It was, something that I had to work towards every day. And I know that everybody on this call and everybody in the team, everybody's goals are different, but you have to, you can work at your own pace, but you need to be very clear about what you want from this, or you're not going to do anything with it, and it may not really be that intentional, but you have to be really clear on what you want. and what it means to your life and for you. And once you kind of have that figured out, I know where I want to be 2 years from now. That's very clear to me. How I'm going to get there might be rocky, but when you have that figured out what you want, it's a lot easier to break down into small goals to work towards.
And that's so true too. Dana, like everyone's goals are different. And, you know, my post the other day about like, you need to tell your upline your goals, because as uplines, like you can't help your coaches the right way if you don't know where they're headed. And if they're giving you goals, but they're not exactly what they want, well, they're not going to want to hear what you're telling them, right? Because you're going to tell them how to hit those goals. But if that's not really what they want, it's like, to put it bluntly, a waste of time. Like, what are you working towards? If you don't want them, like, you figure out what it is that you really want, why you're doing this business. And there may be more than one reason for that. And the other thing that Dana was talking about is like, it's not easy. We're not sitting here and being like, just because I'm hosting a call, like I know everything there is to know about leadership. Like right now, I feel the complete opposite about leadership. I feel like I have so much to learn, and I am hitting these walls. You know, I had these big goals for 2014 and they're crashing all around me. But I'm like, as much as sometimes I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I can't do it anymore. Like, there's a piece of me that's like never going to quit. Like, that would be crazy. Like, if I was just like, oh, I'm not going to do Beachbody anymore. Like, that's crazy. And I want all of you to get to that point where you feel like quitting would be absolutely nuts if you're not there right now. Because when I started, I wasn't, you know, I didn't have that feeling. But you get to a certain point of like, quitting would be crazy. It's not easy, but you just have to like that quote, you have to readjust your sails, right? If it's not going the way you want it to go, you have to readjust. And we are constantly readjusting how we're running our business, whether it's in leadership, leadership modes, or whether it's just like how to run a challenge group or how to recruit people. If it's not working, adjust. We only have a few minutes left, but and the other thing I liked Dana was talking about is success partners. And we talk about it all the time, but there's some new people on the call. Success partners are huge. Reach out to people who are kind of like at your level of drive and motivation, even if they're not the same rank. If they want the same things as you, reach out to them, connect to them daily. They're going to help you, like they're going to pick you up when you're down. You're going to do the same thing for them. You're going to work together. And it might change, but as long as you're, working with someone who's at the same spot as you in terms of drive and motivation, you're going to help each other out. And it's such a huge and vital thing to have someone in the business to kind of like encourage you to keep going. Okay.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
My two original success partners are no longer my success partners. One of them fell off. The other one is just kind of stuck, and we just kind of grew apart. It's not like it was intentional or there's hard feelings, but as you go, reach out to people in the team that you feel most connected to, or that you feel like you like what they're doing and you want to learn more about it. And I think it was Liz that said it on a call a long time ago. If you want to learn what somebody is doing, ask them. Don't, sit and think, man, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could learn how to do this, or how come I can't run a group like that? You can do the same thing that anybody else does if you're willing to ask for it, because 99% of the time people are going to take 10 minutes out of their day to help you learn how to do that, because that's how I've learned. I've reached out to Annalisa. I've reached out to Colleen. I've reached out to people on other teams. That's how you learn what to do. And then you take those little pieces that you learn from each person and you make it into your own.
Yeah. I actually reached out to Lindsay Stay today, who you guys might follow, and she is like, I love following her, and I got to spend some time at the leadership with her, and I just felt like I could relate so much to her. So when I was struggling today, I reached out to her, and she sent me this those voice messages back or whatever, and it was like exactly what I needed to hear. So don't be afraid to just reach out to leaders. They're human. They know, they've all been there. But she was basically her take-home message is like, don't let the negative outweigh the positive, because this opportunity is so worth it. So you're gonna have negatives, but like, don't let them outweigh the positive. It is worth every like frustration in the business. Like, you know, you all know that. You know why you're doing it. You've had success. You're ready to share and enjoy the ride as you go. So today I'm actually going to end the conversation before I get cut off. But if anyone has a question, we have about 4 minutes left before we kind of sign off and say bye. You can type it, or we can just kind of. Oh, I love Heather's. Tough love is necessary. Oh, and that's what I'll end on. I'm reading. You guys all know Tabitha from the hair salon shows. Tabitha Kofi. She's the blonde chick, and her book is all about tough love. And it's hard to like relate to someone, and that's where I'm readjusting my sales a little bit, because I am tough love. I'm like just like a okay, just do it kind of girl, and it doesn't work like that for a lot of people. So for me, my struggle is to like learn how to relate to my coaches, learn exactly what they need, and try to encourage them the way they need to be encouraged, rather than just my way or the highway kind of thing, which works for me, but it doesn't work for a lot of people. So guys, I know I talked a mile a minute tonight. I hope you got some things out of it. I hope to see you all in the Aspire Nation page, because you guys are all leaders on here. I love seeing you guys tonight. And new coaches, you may have been like, what the heck is she talking about? But I'll see you all in Aspire Nation. I really appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. So have a great night, and I will see you there. Bye, guys.